It's good to have you join me on the Global News on Equa Television International. It is now time to look at stories making international headlines. Protect all those feeling Myanmar, United Nations agency urged countries in the region. In Jenin attack, Israeli forces kill Palestinian teen. Indian regulators hit Google with $162 million fine over anti-competitive practices. World leaders react to Liz Truss's resignation, and Philippines buys US military helicopters after dumping Russia deal. The United Nations Refugee Agency has pledged with countries neighboring Myanmar to instantly seize the forced return of people who have fled military-ruled country, describing such deportations as placing countless lives at risk. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, said in a statement on Thursday that people are fleeing indiscriminate violence against civilians, which continues across the country, and fighting between Myanmar's military and ethnic armed groups in many border areas. The UNHCR statement comes just days after Malaysia deported 150 Myanmar nationals this month, including ex-Navy officers, on October 6 looking for asylum in spite of the risk of arrest they face and being returned home. At least one naval officer and his wife was imprisoned upon arrival back in Myanmar's martial hub, Yangon, reports say. The two were deported from Malaysia for failing to hold legal documents to live in the country, the report said. Not more than three of the past Myanmar naval officers in Haiti had sought protection from the United Nations Refugee Agency and had applied for safety documents that would recognize them as refugees, according to reports. Malaysia's Immigration Department, the Foreign Ministry and Prime Minister's Office did not comment, according to reports. The reported deportations come despite Malaysia's vocal condemnation of violence in Myanmar since the military removed an elected government led by Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi last year. Myanmar is home to over 100,000 Rohingya Muslims who have fled ethnic cleansing operations by the Myanmar military. More recently, Malaysia has been deporting more people from Myanmar due to a tougher policy on refugees and migrants. The deportations highlight what critics see as contradictory stand after unprecedented Malaysian condemnation of Myanmar's military. On Palestinian-Israeli conflict, Israel forces have killed a Palestinian teenager during a military attack on the northern occupied West Bank of Jenin, according to officials. The Palestinian Health Ministry confirmed on Friday that Salah al-Breki, 19, was shot in the neck and died shortly afterwards at the Jenin Public Hospital. He was declared dead at 1:45 a.m. 22:45 GMT on Thursday, less than an hour after the Israeli army and special forces attacked the city of Jenin and its refugee camp, during which confrontations with unarmed youth and strong armed clashes with Palestinian fighters broke out. Tensions in the occupied West Bank have tensed since last year as Palestinian shootings at Israeli military checkpoints and soldiers, mainly in the northern cities of Jenin and Nablus, the report said. At least three Israeli soldiers have been killed since September 14th, one during a raid in Jenin and two in separate shootings on military checkpoints last week in Nablus and occupied East Jerusalem. As part of a military operation called the Breaking Wave, Israel has intensified raids, arrests and killings in Jenin and Nablus as Palestinian armed resistance becomes more organized. Israel has imposed a blockade on Nablus and its villages for over 10 days, affecting the movement of about 420,000 Palestinians as it searches for suspects of a shooting at a nearby illegal settlement of Shev Shomron, in which one soldier was killed. Residents, political groups and civil society institutions are demanding the lifting of the siege as it begins to have a serious effect on the economy and life in the area. Israeli forces have killed 175 Palestinians since the start of the year, including 124 people in the West Bank and 51 in the besieged Gaza Strip, according to the Health Ministry. Approximately half of those killed in the West Bank were from Jenin and its villages. The total death toll also includes 41 children, 17 of whom were killed during Israel's three-day assault in Gaza in August. The United Nations has said that 2022 is the highest year for Palestinian fatalities in the West Bank compared to the same period in the previous 16 years. In India, the country's introduced regulator has enforced a penalty of closely 13.4 billion rupees, that's $162 million on Alphabet Inc. Google, for abusing its dominant position in multiple markets in the Android mobile device ecosystem. The Competition Commission of India, CCI, has asked Google to modify its conduct in relation to anti-competitive practices. In its inquiry, the Commission concluded that Google has an unfair competitive edge in the market because it owns the Android operating software and allows some of its own products, such as YouTube and Google Search, to come pre-installed on all Android-run devices. The Commission opined that the market should be allowed to compete on merits, and the onus is on the dominant players in the present case, Google, that its conduct does not impede this competition on merits, the CCI said Thursday in a press release. A Google India spokesperson said, according to reports, that it is yet to receive the order and will not be able to comment until then. India's competition watchdog is also investigating separately Google's in-app payment system and its business conduct in the smart TV market. Google has been pouring some grave cash into India, which is an important overseas market for American tech firms. The world's second most populous country has 750 million internet users, and millions more are anticipated to come online in the future. And unlike its more populous neighbor China, India has been welcoming huge amounts of investment from US tech giants. Facebook, Google, Amazon, Netflix, and others have already invested billions of dollars into growing their Indian operations. In 2020, Google said it was planning to invest $10 billion in India as part of plans to make the internet affordable and useful for 1 billion of people. British Prime Minister Liz Truss has announced her resignation after a boisterous short-lived term in which her policies prompted chaos in financial markets. Making a hastily scheduled statement outside her 10 Downing Street office on Thursday, Truss acknowledged that I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected by the Conservative Party. Here, hers is the third resignation by a Conservative Prime Minister in as many years, and leaves a divided party looking for a leader who can unify its warring factions. Truss, who said she will still remain in office for a few more days while that process unfolds, has been Prime Minister for just 45 days. Here are reactions from senior figures around the world to the resignation of Truss. The US President Joe Biden said the United States and the United Kingdom are strong allies, enduring friends, and that the facts will never change. I thank Prime Minister Liz Truss for her partnership on a range of issues, including holding Russia accountable for its war against Ukraine. We will continue our close cooperation with the United Kingdom government as we work together to meet the global challenges our nations face. French President Emmanuel Macron said, "We want above all else stability. On a personal level, I am always sad to see a colleague go." Irish Prime Minister Michael Martin said, "I think stability is very important, and we would like to see that a United Kingdom system within its capacity in a position to have a successor selected as quickly as possible during these times when a major war is underway on the continent in Europe." Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte I had a good contact with her, so I'm annoyed for her personally. We agreed on a whole range of views, and I'm looking forward to work with who will be my next colleague. It will be the fifth one, I believe. And finally, Russian Foreign Minister spokeswoman Maria Zakharova, "Britain has never known such a disgrace of a prime minister, the helmet on board tank, the catastrophic illiteracy, and the Queen's funeral right after the audience with Truss will be what's remembered of her." Now, Philippines will source military helicopters from the United States after scrapping $215 million deal to buy 16 similar heavy-lift helicopters from Russia over fears of sanctions following Moscow's invasion of Ukraine, Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said. Manila will also seek to have Moscow return at least part of a multi-million-dollar deposit for a now-cancelled batch of Russian Mi-17 helicopters, Marcos Jr. said on Thursday in his first public comments on the touchy issue involving Russia. The Russian ambassador to the Philippines on Wednesday, Marat Mavlov, said, according to reports, that his government had not been formally informed of the contract cancellation and considered the helicopter deal valid. Production continued on fulfilling the order to deliver the Mi-17s, the ambassador said, adding that one had been ready for delivery since June. The government of Marcos Jr. predecessor Rodrigo Duterte signed the deal with Moscow in November 2021, but Duterte backed out of the agreement in the months following Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February and the imposition of wide-ranging sanctions on Russia. Marcos did not specify which U.S. helicopters were chosen as the alternative to Mi-17s, only that they will be manufactured in Poland. The Philippine ambassador in Washington, Jose Romualdez, in August said Manila was looking at Chinooks to replace the Mi-17s. The Boeing CH-47 Chinook could be the possible replacement for the Mi-17s, which the Philippines needs for combat missions, search and rescue, and medical evacuation, the ambassador said at the time. The U.S. deal, which matched the price agreed with Russia, will also include maintenance services and parts, terms that were not included in the deal with Russia, defense officials said, according to reports. And there are more stories. Australia pledges millions in climate security support for Pacific. Australia has promised millions of dollars in aid for Pacific Island nations to tackle the existential threat of climate change, as well as funds for Australia's police deployments in the Solomon Islands, regional aerial surveillance, and an Australian border force network. Speaking at the Pacific Way conference in French Polynesia, Foreign Minister Penny Wong said Australia will add its total budget for overseas development assistance by 1.4 billion Australian dollars, around 878.3 million US dollars over the next 4 years. Some 900 million Australian dollars, almost 565 million US dollars will go to the Pacific region. Australia will update its federal budget next week, and 46 million Australian dollars, some 29 million US dollars will be set aside for the fund the country's police deployments in the Solomon Islands, where officers are helping to provide security since last year's riots in the capital, Honiara. Wong described the assistance as a way of supporting regional partners to provide their own security so they have less need to call on others. He said the budget commitments will be a major step towards the goal of making Australia stronger and more influential in the world. An extra 30 million Australian dollars, almost 19 million US dollars, will be spent on boosting aerial surveillance in the Pacific region, and some 19 million Australian dollars, almost 12 million US dollars, will be allocated to establishing a network of Australian border force officers across the Pacific, according to reports. After 11-hour summit, EU fails to agree on cap gas prices and gas. European Union leaders have failed to reach an agreement on a plan to help protect their citizens from surging energy price despite hours of wrangling at summit in Brussels. The group's leader emerged from their second summit in as many weeks at about 2 a.m. in Brussels with a roadmap to agreeing on a set of measures to lower energy bills, which have soared as a result of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. While the announcement of the summit text made a public show of unity among the 27 member states, the absence of any decision on capping gas prices indicated negotiations will remain difficult. No time frame was given on when a decision on price caps will be made, with European Union energy ministers due to meet in Luxembourg on Tuesday for more deliberations. The published text calls on the European Commission and European Union countries to find ways to shield consumers from the high prices while preserving Europe's global competitiveness and the integrity of the single market. The EU has been struggling for months over which joint initiatives to adopt in talks made more challenging by the various energy mixes in each country. At least 15 EU states want to cap on gas prices amid growing public anger over the cost of living in countries, including France and Belgium. But Germany, the EU's biggest economy, has resisted the call, arguing a cap risks freezing Europe out of the gas market and reducing incentives for energy saving. Chancellor Olaf Scholz said the meeting outcome was a good signal of solidarity, but there was frustration among all the leaders. Before the war, the EU got 40% of its gas from Russia, but in July it agreed to cut Russian gas usage by 15%. The move triggered Moscow to cut supplies, further contributing to the hike in prices. European gas prices reached a record high of more than 343 euros, that's $335 per megawatt hour in late August. Prime Minister Alexander De Croo of Belgium, which exports gas to neighboring Germany, shared similar sentiments. French President Emmanuel Macron, who had gone into the summit saying Germany was isolating itself, expressed satisfaction with the result. And in the shores of Africa, curfew declared in Chadian towns after security forces killed at least 60 protesters. A nighttime curfew has been imposed in 3 Chadian cities in N'Djamena, Modo, Doba and Komra, the Prime Minister declared after banned protests took place and were violently repressed. Security forces opened fire on demonstrators in the country's 2 major cities, killing at least 60 people and wounding hundreds on Thursday. The protesters demanded the ouster of Mohammed Idris Deby Itno, who took over in the wake of his father's assassination 18 months ago. The 38-year-old general formed what he called unity government following his appointment as head of the transition after a national forum. On the same day, the first cabinet meeting was taking place. The president did not comment on the country's deadliest protests in recent years. His prime minister announced a nighttime curfew until the total restoration of order. On the international scene, however, the African Union, AU and the United Nations were among the voices condemning the lethal use of force on civilians. And finally, on global news, on sports, Moroccan fans gather in Qatar ahead of the FIFA World Cup. On Thursday, Moroccan fans assembled to support their team near the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup countdown clock as it marked 30 days left before the tournament in Qatari capital Doha. Team anthems and jerseys, no doubt Moroccan fans in Qatar are getting in the World Cup mood. The Atlas Lions will face a battle against Canada, Belgium and Croatia in Group F. A new coach was appointed early September to lead the squad. Fans look forward to the team's 6th appearance in the competition. On November 20th, the World Cup will get started at the 60,000-seat Al Bayt Stadium. All 64 games over the course of 29 days involving 32 teams will be held in the Doha area. Morocco's first game will take place on November 23rd. The team is one of the 5 African countries qualified for the biggest football tournament. About 1.2 million visitors are expected in Qatar for the first World Cup. Let's take a break, and when we come back, it will be Zuma Nigeria. Welcome back to Zuma Nigeria. Nigeria police use tear gas and adversary on fatal protest. Nigeria police on Thursday fired tear gas and water cannon to declare a rally in Lagos marking the second anniversary of the country's #EndSARS protest against police brutality and bad governance. The youth-led October 2020 demonstrations in Lagos and elsewhere evolved into the largest anti-government protests in Nigeria's modern history before security forces ended them in a crackdown. Rights groups say at least 10 people were shot dead by security forces on October 20th, 2020 at the Lekki toll gate in Lagos, the epicenter of the protests, claim the government and the army has repeatedly denied. Carrying banners and flags, the group protesters rallied along the major expressway near Lekki on Thursday before police fired tear gas and water cannon to disperse them as cars passed by, according to reports. Lagos State Police spokesman Benjamin Hundeyin said some protesters were dispersed at Thursday's rally after unruly behavior. Governance, jobs and security will be the focus of many young Nigerians in February's general election when the country votes for the successor of President Muhammadu Buhari, who stepped down after his 2 terms allowed by the Constitution. The 2020 #EndSARS protest erupted initially against police brutality, abuses with the rallying, name referencing the Special Anti-Robbery Squad (SARS), which was later disbanded. The demonstrations grew into a broader protest to demand better governance and rights in Africa's most populous country. Amnesty International has said at least 10 people were shot dead when security forces opened fire on peaceful protesters at the Lekki toll gate 2 years ago. But the army said only blank rounds were used to break up a crowd that was defying a curfew. An investigative panel set up by the Lagos State government concluded last November that the armed forces shot and killed armed protesters in what could be considered a massacre, according to a leaked copy of the report. Amnesty International said on Thursday that more than 40 protesters from 2020 were still in prisons while pioneers established to investigate police brutality had failed to deliver justice to victims. Now, federal government reverses 10% tariff increases on data voice services. The federal government has directed mobile network operators, MNOs, to reverse the 10% hike in tariffs, especially on data services which they implemented recently. In a statement yesterday signed by the Director of Public Affairs, Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, Ruben Moka, the telecoms regulator said its body didn't give final approval for the price adjustment. Recall that MTN and Airtel had a fortnight ago announced a 10% hike in some of its packages, citing rising costs of doing business in the country and circumstances beyond its control. For example, 10 gigabytes of data, which usually costs 3,000, was adjusted to 3,300. However, NCC in a statement said the attention of the NCC has been drawn to media reports of unilateral implementation of recently approved 10% upward tariff adjustment for some voice and data services by the service providers on their networks. According to the NCC, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Issa Pantami, has maintained that his priority is to protect the citizens and ensure justice to all stakeholders involved. As such, anything that could bring more hardship will not be accepted. The Commission stated that this was also why they obtained the approval of President Muhammadu Buhari for the suspension of the proposed 5% excise duty to maintain an enabling environment for telecom operators. Much as there is an increase in the cost of production, the provision of telecom services is still very profitable, and it is necessary that the subscribers are not subjected to a hike in charges. The future of the world is digital, and Nigerians must make ready for its telecommunications from MTN. Referring Marshall McLuhan, who said in 1964 that the world is a global village, perfectly describing how human interconnectivity has made interaction easier due to digitalization. MTN Chief Executive Officer Culture Ariola said that at the core of this, the internet connection, which provides the service that enables digital human interaction. Nigeria's out-of-school children hit 20 million as poverty and insecurity heightens. In spite of efforts by governments, many more Nigerian children are dropping out of school, although the Federal Ministry of Education is picking holes in the 2021 figures of Analytical Statistics Organization, SB Morgan Intelligence, that put the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria at 12.3 million. The latest data of the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, says the current number is 20 million. UNESCO, which says a new and improved methodology was used to arrive at the latest figures, said there are 244 million children and youth between the ages of 6 and 18 worldwide who are still out of school, with India, Nigeria and Pakistan having the highest figures of out-of-school children globally. Poverty, lack of schools, insecurity, and tradition, among others, are the major factors pushing many children out of school. Daily, during school hours, many underage children who are supposed to be in school are seen in traffic selling sachet water and assorted drinks in mechanic workshops and markets learning trade. Some beg for alms in between traffic, others carry loads for a fee in markets, while many are in the street looking haggard, while some are busted ready snatchbacks from commuters. The ugly trend is despite the provisions of Article 28 of the Convention on the Rights of Child, to which every country is signatory, including Nigeria. According to UNICEF, a United Nations agency, Nigeria accounts for more than 1 in 5 out-of-school children anywhere in the world. And lastly, budget deficit. Government may sell serious needs and 25 key assets. Amidst Nigeria's fiscal crisis, the federal government is compiling the list of assets that will be either sold or conditioned to fund the 2023 budget deficit of 10.7 trillion naira. Sources at the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, the government was considering selling or conditioning the Tafa Balewa Square in Lagos, as well as all the national integrated power projects in Olorunshobo, Calabar, the 2, Benin located at Ihobo, Omotosho 2 and Gerigu 2 plants. The government is also planning to sell or concession all the hydropower plants across the country, including Oyan, Lower Usama, Katsina Ala, and Giri plants. More than 25 of such projects will be turned into active assets that will be generating money in some ways to the federal government. Some of them will be offered to investors for equity, while others will be totally sold to reduce waste. The government is also eyeing revenue from Calabar and Kano free zones, as well as Abuja Water Board, Aluminium Smelter Company of the Nigeria, National Film Corporation, National Theatre, and Lagos International Trade Fair. The government is also planning to relinquish the ownership of some of the basin authorities and hand them over to the private sector to manage. However, reports said they could either be sold or concession depending on the preference of the core investors. Some of the government ministries, such as the Postal Service, will be concession or entirely sold to the private sector to enable them to compete effectively with all the privately managed logistics firms. It was also gathered that the federal government was seeking ways of enhancing the value of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation by listing it in the stock market to raise capital, as was done the case with Saudi Aramco. Saudi state-owned oil company went out to raise $25.6 billion from an IPO in 2019, surpassing Alibaba's $25 billion valuation 5 years earlier. The now commercial enterprise is valued between 30 trillion naira and 50 trillion naira, and the government is planning to make it a veritable source of revenue and returns for the government and the shareholders next year. So refresh your memories, protect all those fleeing Myanmar, United Nations agency or countries in the region. In Jenin attack, Israeli forces kill Palestinian teen. Indian regulators hit Google with $162 million fine over anti-competitive practices. What leaders react to Liz Truss's resignation, and Philippines buys US military helicopters after dumping Russian deal. Remember that smart people learn from everything and everyone. Average people from their experiences live wisely. I am Lois Suraki. Do enjoy the rest of your day.